Yo, what up? Welcome to Tevez is the Best. Today is Friday, June 28, 2024. My name is JC Tevez. Welcome to podcast about my life and nothing else. But stick around. You might learn something new. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm recording a video again. Second time I've done this out of the last 3 episodes. So if you're listening to this and you want to see my pretty face, go on YouTube. It should be up there, and I'll also be uploading clips online. Anyway, what's going on? Let's talk about Alice Guo, huh? Wait, sorry. Formerly known as Alice Guo. Let's talk about Guo Hua Ping. Man, so this is crazy, huh? The NBI finds Alice Guo and a certain Guo Hua Ping have the same fingerprints. This is according to GMA Integrated News. Let's talk about this shit. The National Bureau of Investigation has found that Bamban Mayor Alice Guo and Chinese passport holder Guo Huaping have the same fingerprints. Okay, so what does that mean? So Senator Risa Hontiveros, shout out Senator Risa para sa Senado. Did you ever see that commercial? Risa Hontiveros para sa Senado made the disclosure in a statement saying that the NBI found confirmed suspicions that the suspended mayor was a fake Filipino masquerading as a Filipino citizen to facilitate crimes. Oh my God, I can't wait to see the Netflix documentary on this one, man. When asked for comment, NBI Director Jaime Santiago confirmed the findings to GMA News Online. Okay, so I think quote ni Santiago, indeed the NBI has confirmed that the fingerprints of Mayor Alice Guo and Guo Huaping match. They are the fingerprints of one and the same person. You would think, right, that she would change her name to something farther from Guo, because the name, her fake name was Alice Guo, and then the name of the identity that she stole was Guo Huaping. Why wouldn't you change it to something else? Diba? Parang weird. If I was gonna fake my identity and own a helicopter and lahat na ganun, I would change my name to something so far away from the original fingerprints that, I don't know, diba? Weird. Anyway, this confirms what I've suspected all along. Peking Filipino, si Mayor Alice, or should I say, Guo Huaping. She's a Chinese national facilitating crimes being committed by Pogo, so Philippine Offshore Gaming Operations. You know, Pogo's been around a while. Dati kasi dito sa building ko, in my condo, pre-pandemic, right? For some reason, biglaan lang. There was like Chinese nationals that were here, like they flooded the building, right? And I don't want to, I'm not trying to stereotype, but after they came in, yung elevator, amoy yosi lagi, ang baho ng mga hallways. Buti na lang sa floor ko, there weren't that many. Like, I don't think there were that many of them. I feel like there were like certain floors where they were all at, because sometimes nasa elevator ako, and then they would go from like the ground floor, and then they would push multiple buttons, but then they would all kind of congregate on certain floors. They'd be hanging out in the lobby and shit, and it was weird. And then when pandemic hit, I remember that when the announcement was made, when I think like they were gonna cut off the borders, they gave people like a couple of days, and when I went down to the lobby, there was like literally, I don't think I'm exaggerating here. There was like 60 of them in the lobby, and may Rimowa suitcases, and then they were holding like 4 cell phones. I don't know. Can you guys explain to me what that is, sa Pogo? Because in the elevator, I would be with them sometimes, and a lot of them were holding parang 3 or 4 cell phones. Sa cell phones ba yung Pogo? Like, I don't know how that works. So, wala lang. So, they had all their cell phones, they had their suitcases, they were, chit-chattering around. I don't know. From what I recall, they looked kind of worried, and they haven't been back since. After pandemic, after after all the lockdowns, after, no more masks, parang wala na dito, at least in my building. But in my building, there's a new phenomenon-ish. I don't know if it's a phenomenon. There are workers in my building that they all work together and they all live on certain floors, And then it's so strange. They go from one floor, like so I live on like the 27th floor. So sometimes I'll be in the elevator, and then it'll go to like 18. So papasok sila, like there's like 4 or 5 of them. They all obviously know each other, they're friends. And then they don't go down to the ground floor. They go to like the 12th floor. Now I get that maybe may mga kaibigan sila, but I feel like there's a business in my building and all the workers are housed here. And sila din, iba-iba din they have different cell phones all the time. And then they're always carrying like merch from this company. I feel like, I don't know if it's Pogo. Honestly, I don't want to be a whistleblower over here. But NBI, maybe you can come through and check it out. Nah, I'm just kidding. They're just grinding. I respect it. At least, and they're respectful, right? And they don't stink up the elevators with cigarette smoke. But I'm always curious. And sometimes I ask them, like one time I asked a couple, they're like, anong ginagawa ninyo? And then they just said, I forgot what they said. I should have listened more carefully, but I didn't really understand what it was. So yeah, there's that. That's what's going on, man. So we talked about it on Halala Show before, like the initial case. It's just crazy that in this day and age that this shit can still happen. But it's politics, right? There's some money. When money is involved, anything is possible. Anything is possible! Like Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible. Oh, man. So let's talk about Guo Huaping. It was Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. How do you say that? Gatchalian. It was Senator Sherwin Gatchalian who first raised suspicions that Alice Guo and Guo Huaping were the same person, citing documents from the Board of Investments. Blah, 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 blah. I'm bored reading this. The document showed that Guo Huaping entered the Philippines on January 12, 2003. Okay, so this was when Alice Guo was 13 years old. Her real birth date is August 31, 1990. Wait, whose real birth date? Alice, like Mayor, or the person whose identity was stolen? I don't really understand. But anyway, the documents were uncovered after Guo failed to provide details of her child. For me, that was the craziest thing of the initial thing, where when they were asking her, like, where did you go to school? Blah blah blah. She's like, I don't remember. Come on, bro. At that point, just throw her in jail, right? Obviously, dude, you have to do due process and everything. But at that point, all the alarms should be woo, woo, woo. It's crazy to me. And what's even funnier, well, I guess it's not funny if you're being realistic, is that this is probably the least of the worst things that has happened in the government in overall. Like, there's so many scandals, right? And Pogo, as bad as it is, I think there's also big problems that are equally as bad. Anyway, I'm just suspicious. I'm just not suspicious. I'm curious. Like, how does that happen? How do you steal identity? Let's go look at how to steal identity. The I and the K on my keyboard are broken, so I have to copy paste the letter I and then put it here. Sorry, guys. I have to copy paste the letter I. How to steal identity. Here we go. Let's go on Reddit, because Reddit usually has a pretty good write-up. What information does someone need to steal your identity? All right. Let's see. Top answer. Think about what information you need to open a bank account or set up a contract with a mobile or utility company. That's the information they need to steal your identity. Okay. This is why most companies ask for proof of your ID when setting things up. However, if you sent a fraudster a photo of your passport, they could potentially use that to open online accounts. Oh, okay. So wait, what does that mean? It's a passport or like valid ID. Normally here in the Philippines, what do they ask? Right? They need two valid ID. I hate that, but maybe I get it now, right? To prevent a future Alice Guo, you need 2 valid IDs. Sometimes they ask for what? A utility bill? Is that true? Right? This is why banks are so tight on checking your ID and why people often get their accounts closed after they have been set up. Not because they're fraudsters, but because they've not responded suitably to requests for an ID. But what else, though? How do you get somebody's fingerprints? Because that's what she did. Like, she was able to see Alice Guo. Her fingerprints matched the fingerprints of the person whose identity she stole. So did they must have fudged that somehow, right? or they cut off her fingers, right? Dark. Yeah, and what happened to the real what happened to Huo Guoping? That's what I want to know, right? Are they still here? Are they still alive? Who is that? I can't find any information on it right now. I don't really want to scroll. Anyway, that doesn't make you think. Okay, here we go. Manila Bulletin. Who is Guo Huo Ping? In a message, blah blah blah. Alice Guo might be Guo Huo Ping, but Guo, how do you say that? Guo Huo Ping's registered mother under the SIRV. What's that? Is Lin Wen Yi. SIRV. Special Investigators Resident Visa Program. There we go. Learned something new. Gatchalian first disclosed in an earlier interview that residents of Valenzuela could attest that Lin Wenyi, a Chinese national, was referred to as Guo's mother when they were residing in the city. But still, I'm trying to figure out when this all took, because how old is Alice Guo? She's Google says she's about 38 years old because they don't know her real birthday. About 38. Okay, so if the real Alice Guo came here in 2003, according to what we just read, that was what? 20 years ago. Alice Guo was around, if she's really around 38, she was 18. So at 18, was she already like a splinter cell for China? Have they been training her? You know, I've always had this funny thought where if I won the lotto, if I won like $1 billion, I would put a camp I would take orphans and then I would put them in some sort of training facility and train them to be like peak humans. That's how I would indoctrinate, you know, or like Black Widow, right? Scarlet Witch, like she came in as a kid and then she became Black Widow. I feel like that's what I would do to indoctrinate a kid and then make them do whatever I want if I want them to be a hitman, for example. But when was quote unquote Alice Guo, if she really is here to commit crimes or to facilitate crimes for Pogo, at what point and when and where did that all take place? Did some Chinese spy come over and just handpick her? And, you know, it brings up so many questions that I wish that I could have her on the podcast. You know, Alice, when you were in your helicopter, like who gave you the helicopter on the farm that you supposedly grew up on, right? Who is the person that told you that at the tender age of 38, you are going to become elected mayor and you are going to bring China into prominence, right? And how does that affect the South China Sea or West Philippine Sea? I don't know what sea is that. West Philippine Sea? Yeah, West Philippine Sea. Speaking of, that shit is crazy, right? And, you know, as much as I love, you know, fighting for it and whatever, sometimes, because I think we should still take a stand. Like, there's no way I'm like, we should bow down or whatever. Because right? What's the saying? If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Diba? Right? So if we were like, okay, fine, have it, they're gonna start coming in here again. Right? They're gonna start invading the buildings and smoking up the elevator. I know it sounds a little bit racist. Not all I just want to go on the record. Not all Chinese people are like that. Okay, all right. I have some Chinese friends. Not here in the States. I met some Chinese immigrants who were really cool. And I've been watching TikTok videos of. I forgot if it's like a white guy or a black guy in China who speaks Mandarin and he's just hanging out with Chinese people, and they seem like Pinoys. I mean, when my friendly Pinoys when they see the clickbait, what do you call that? What do you call those people? The Pinoy baiters. I'm just half kidding, but the Pinoy baiter vloggers who are on the street saying, "Oh, I'm here in the most dangerous part, but it's not that dangerous." Whoa. And then they show like a video of kids. Obviously, you're near fucking kids, right? They're not dangerous to you. If you go to the slums where the killers get hung, as Sean Kingston says, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, but just go back to the point. See, I'm off topic again. Back to the point, right? Iba, isn't it strange how like we can have all these problems, whatever, but there's still so much goodness in these areas, right? If you see them in person or in videos, it's not really all that bad, right? It's not obviously that's speaking from a place of privilege, whatever. I live in a safe, secure home, but it's not like it's always drugs and crime all the time. Like these people have lives, and they're probably shooting hoops and listening to Beanie on TikTok. And anyway, I lost my train of thought, but basically, we don't want China coming in here and fucking around. And if we give them the West Philippine Sea willingly, that's probably what's going to happen. But then you have to think about it, right? We will get fucked up by China. Just by manpower alone, technology, money, like their funding of their military. We don't stand a chance, man. Honestly, we don't stand a chance. So that's the other thing to consider. You know, I mean, I don't know. Who's the president of China now? Is it still Winnie the Pooh? That's what they call him, all right? I'm not calling him that. That's his nickname by a lot of people because he kind of looked like Winnie the President of China. Xi Jinping. It is Xi Jinping, right? Winnie the Pooh? Isn't that what his nickname is? President of China, Winnie the Pooh. Meme. Yeah, it's him. Look it up. Just type in Xi Jinping, Winnie the Pooh, and he kind of looks like him. And you know what's weird? Xi Jinping looks like a nice guy. He looks like the tito at a party, you know, that will, once you meet them, they're like, "Oy, tara, inom tayo." That's what he looks like to me, Winnie the Pooh. So hopefully he brings out the Winnie the Pooh in him and not the who's that? There's no villain in Winnie the Pooh, right? Anyway. As I digress, let's talk about other stuff now. So there, you know, that's a little bit of a rundown on what's going on with Guo Huaping. What did I do this week? So we recorded the Halal show. Make sure to listen to that. The new mix should be out next week. Rika's coming here next week, by the way. So to all the fans of Rika GGG, she will be here next week. We'll be hanging out for a little bit. We will be doing some fun stuff. Let me scroll through my videos, see what I've done in the last few weeks or last few days. So yeah, watch A Quiet Place 2. That was, you know, just so I can give you a little bit of a insight into it without spoiling the movie. The movie is okay. It's good. If it's the first Quiet Place movie you've ever watched, you will enjoy it a lot more than I did. Because, and here's the thing. All right, so first of all, you don't need to watch the first two to watch this. It's not really necessary. It doesn't build off of anything, and that for me was a disappointing part, because as a fan of the first one, and I kind of like the second one as well, although I remember not liking as much as the first, I was hoping, even though this movie was a prequel, that there would be some sort of world building or adding to the lore of these monsters that could maybe give me a deeper appreciation of the 1 and 2. But it's basically a rehash of the first movie, with different characters who you care less about, and that's not to knock Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn, who played the two leads. They were really good in it, but I don't care about them because they are randoms, and then they meet, and then they're surviving together, versus the first one, which is a family, and they are able to make you care more about the family because they can communicate with sign language. So if you've never seen the first Quiet Place, they're a family of 4. One of them, one of their youngest kid, the bunso, dies at the beginning, and then the story continues. So it's just a family of 4, and the eldest daughter, it's a daughter and a son. So obviously the eldest daughter, the daughter of the family, she's deaf, or I don't know if she's deaf or she has like hearing impairment, but she knows how to sign language, so the family can sign. So at least in this mostly silent movie, right? Because the premise is if you make noise, these monsters can hear it and they'll fuck you up, right? At least throughout this movie, there's communication in the form of sign language, so that gives you a little bit of a connection to the characters. You know, they're able to talk, quote unquote, talk throughout the film, and you relate to them more. In this new one, this prequel, the two characters don't speak sign language. Right? The main character, Lupita, she has some sort of sickness. I'm not really sure what sickness she had, but she's dying, slowly dying. I mean, I guess you could use that as the emotional anchor in a way. But overall, it ended up being me not really feeling that much connection to them, despite them being really good at portraying the roles. The way that it was written, I don't know how else they could have done it, pairing strangers together. right? And then back to the point where I was saying that, like, in terms of the lore, I wanted to know, and I'm not really sure what I wanted, but maybe give me a little backstory of to why these aliens, these monsters came to Earth, right? Because it's the whole movie is just an extended version of the opening scene of Quiet Place 2. If you remember Quiet Place 2, there's this scene at the beginning that still shows the family from the first movie. And they're in like a small town. There's a baseball game with the kids going on. And then the aliens come and then they fucking blow everything up, right? They kill everybody, blah, blah, blah. That is this prequel movie, but extended, right? So I don't know what else they could have expounded on, but I wanted them to do that. I don't know what exactly I wanted. I just needed something more in terms of relating to... It's hard because the monsters don't talk either. The aliens, the monsters, whatever they are, they don't talk. They look like the Demogorgons from Upside Down, right? They open their fucking... They open their mouths like that. And that's all they do. They're attracted to sound. I'm trying to think of how it could have been improved. Because in terms of building tension, in terms of acting, in terms of sound design and effects, it was nice. It's a good movie. And like I said, if it's your first Quiet Place movie, you'll probably love it. But as somebody, and I think as fans, because I've talked to a few friends about the movie, and they said the same thing. It's like it's more of the same, which isn't bad, but it doesn't improve on the whole brand of A Quiet Place, right? I rather they would have continued the story of 3 or of after 2. They should have gone post, not prequel. They should have post. Is it called post? Oh, sequel. Duh. Post-quel. They should have just done a sequel to 2 because they still left answers, unanswered questions from 2, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember at the end of it, I felt like there was more story to be told, right? And you could have continued with Cillian Murphy. You could have brought in Lupita Nyong'o and had her play a different role in a sequel. I just don't know what they were going for. Right? I hope it does well enough that they wore it because I want a sequel to 2. Right? And if this doesn't do well, maybe they're like, okay, maybe we should leave it as it is. Anyway, that's Quiet Place. What else did I do? Oh, I tried a fantastic banh mi spot with my friend Baeng in Santa Mesa. I think Santa Mesa Heights in QC. It's called Banh Mi. It's not Banh Mi Kitchen. Hold on. Let me. Oh shit! Sorry, my bad. It's playing it from my Instagram. It's called Banh Mi Manila. There we go. Banh Mi Manila. Look it up. It's pretty good. It's a hole in the wall. Literally, when people say hole in the wall, sometimes they say it because it's just like it's like a relatively little known restaurant, but it's in a place that you can easily find. This is a hole in the wall. Like you will not know it's there unless you are walking down the street and you just look to the right and you see it's a small sign, right? There's a small circle sign above a gate. It looks like a gate. No, it's not. It looks like it is a gate of like a residential area, a residential building. So if you're not looking, you won't find it. This is a literal hole in the wall. It's really cute. It's cool. It's a nice spot. I would recommend it just for the fact that you can say, hey man, I didn't know this was here. And it's a cute, once you go in, it's pretty roomy actually, surprisingly. And the banh mi is good. The banh mi for me is make or break always with the bread, right? Because the ingredients are kind of hard to fuck up. It's the bread, like the crunch, I don't know how to make a crunch sound. The crunch sound of the banh mi. And it was good bread. Like it is premium bread. I also found out that before they opened the restaurant, this little restaurant, they were actually the suppliers of bread to all these Vietnamese places like Pho Hoa, right? The popular chain of Vietnamese restaurants here. Is it Pho Hoa? Pho Hoa. They're the supplier of the bread. So that's quality alone. But you're getting it fresh from the source. Because by the time it gets to Pho Hoa, which I do like their banh mi's there, but maybe the bread at that point isn't as fresh. So you're getting it straight from the source. And I really liked it, man. Their Vietnamese coffee is strong as fuck. That shit kept me up till like 6 a.m. So yeah, I recommend that. What else did I do this week? Oh, I had a shoot with Uniqlo. So I talked a lot about this on Highlight Show, but let me delve a little bit more about shopping for Uniqlo after my work with them. So how it works for me, at least for my partnership with them, is I do a little bit of work for them on cam, maybe a little bit of hosting on their live stream, and then they give me credits to buy clothes, right? I'm not gonna tell you how much they give me, right? But let me just say that the bag was so fucking heavy after I was done pulling out the clothes. They call it a pull out, right? Haha, that's bastos, right? Haha. So I was done pulling out, and then I lifted the bag, and I don't think I've ever held a bag full of clothes that I like from a store ever that was that heavy, right? It was unbelievably heavy. And there's this jacket that it's I forgot the name. Let me look it up. The name of the jacket. It was on sale. So they have a newer model. But the one that I got was I guess their older model that they put on sale. It's called what's the name of that jacket? Anyway, it's 1,990 pesos, right? It's got this cool green. Oh, since we're doing video, hold on. I'm too lazy to find it. It's 1,990 pesos, and the new jacket is like 2,800, the new version of it. But the old one, actually, I kind of like the old design better. Not just because it's cheaper. I feel like it's got a very strolling in Europe vibe to it, which is perfect because I'm going to go to Europe in September, baby. Yes, sir. Gonna go to Europe for a month again, just like last year. Thank you, mother. Love you. Okay, what else did I do? I went to Big Bad Wolf. I think I talked about that on the last podcast, although there was no video aspect for it. And last night, I went to go have dinner in BGC with my friend Mark, and we ate at the food trucks around Uptown Parade. The place we went to was called La Lolita. So I have a mini vlog on it on my Instagram and my TikTok. But it was good. But I have I'm not picky with food, right? Except for sushi, right? Sashimi and sushi. I feel like I can differentiate good quality versus not so good quality. And the other thing is Mexican food, because for those of you who don't know, I grew up, a big part of my life was in San Diego, which is as close as you can get to Mexico without being in Mexico, right? We are on the border, the cusp of Joe Biden's, or now maybe Trump's future America, right? By the way, did you see that the debate? I was watching highlights. My God, we have to choose between. Oh, not you guys, but not you. Not I have to choose because I'm an American citizen. I have to choose between these fucking guys. All right, Donald Trump. I don't have to go into why I don't think he's fit to be president. But I was watching Joe Biden. That man looks like he's about to collapse on stage, man. The ghost of Joe Biden was debating up there, and oh my God, I was like, what are we doing here, America? Can't we get somebody whose balls have just dropped, right? Somebody new, young. I don't know, man. Let's get a TikToker to be president. Fuck it, right? At this point, come on. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Mexican food I'm really super. I have a high standard for it. So take this with a grain of salt. I've never found a Mexican, quote unquote Mexican, or even you mix a Mexican fusion place that has ever compared to anything that I've had in San Diego, like ever, right? So this is nothing new. La Lolita, if you're looking for top tier Mexican food, you're not going to find it there. But the food is okay, right? For me, the food was decent. The ambiance is nice. If you've ever walked down Uptown Parade, it's pretty cool. They're, next to Xylo and I still know it as Pool Club. That's how fucking old I am. Pool Club and Valkyrie is what I know. Is it Revel now? Or which one's the party place? Xylo? Or is it Revel? I always forget. But anyway, I grew up here, at least when I moved here. I was in the last dying moments of my party phases was Pool Club and the Palace. Anyway, it's right next to that, on that strip. And they have food carts there. There's a bunch. I've tried other food carts there in the past. So we wanted to try La Lolita because I'd never seen it before. I think it's relatively new. The burrito I had was a carnitas burrito. And it was good. The sauce was good. I really liked the sauce. The meat was solid. The tortilla, though, for me was not not that great. It felt like it was a little bit old. I don't know what you call it. It wasn't tough. It was maybe a little chewy. Not really tough, but it was hard. Some parts of the thing was hard. I don't know. And it wasn't a deep fried burrito, so you don't expect it to. You expect it to be soft enough for you to chew through, but still have enough bite to it. And it didn't have that. So that's what I've done this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything really solid that I could talk about other than, the NBA championships happened, right? That's why I forgot about it, because I feel like it's the equivalent of this could have been done in an email, right? There's a fly in my face. This could have been done in email. Like, it was so boring. Obviously it was made boring because the Mavericks just played like ass, right? It was not a competitive series. But the other thing that made it boring to me, and I've always said this about the Celtics, right? The current generation of the Celtics. I know Jason Tatum is really, really good, but he's the most vanilla ass player in the world to me. And I don't hate him. That's the thing. I don't hate him. I know he's good. But the thing is, I find nothing exciting about his game. He reminds me of Joe Johnson and Brandon Roy. Although Brandon Roy, if he was healthy, he would probably be one of the best players of all time. I would say I'm willing to go on a hypothetical whim here that if Brandon Roy never got hurt, he would be GOAT tier. He would be a GOAT tier shooting guard. I don't think he'd be like, Dwayne Wade or Kobe Bryant level, or Michael Jordan for that matter, obviously. But he would be top 5 if he didn't get hurt. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, he reminds me of that. Like, because if you ever watch, so here's a little bit of a cool story. I went to go watch the Portland Trailblazers play the New Jersey Nets in Portland when I was in high school. So I went there. I went with my kuya boy, and we watched the game because my favorite player of all time is Vince Carter, and at that time he played for the Nets. So I wanted to see Vince Carter play, but I'm not gonna talk about VC or the Nets. At the end of the game, I you can look up the stats probably, but Brandon Roy had like 36 points or some shit like that, but I don't remember a single memorable bucket that he made. He's just a go to work kind of guy. He's hitting mid-range jumpers, he's hitting layups, he's hitting threes, but he doesn't stand out on the court, which is weird, right? It's weird that you can say that, like, yeah, he's scoring all these points. How does he not stand out? If you play basketball, you know what I'm talking about. There's always that one guy who just somehow gets buckets, but does it in the most fundamental way. And that's what Jason Tatum is. And, you can make a case for even his defense is really good as well. But there's nothing exciting about his defense either. He just stays in front of his man. If you watch like really exciting defender, it's hard to have an exciting defender. But, the ones that are known for being exciting defenders, Drew Holiday, what's his name? Even Patrick Beverley at one point in time was a really good defender. There's like a passion there. And I feel like Jason Tatum, he's the kind of guy where if you tell him a joke and he laughs at the joke, you question if he was really entertained by the joke. That's how I see him. And that made it even funnier. Like, so one thing that went viral after the Celtics won was Jason Tatum's reaction on camera during the interview of how he was feeling after winning the championship. And he has this one thing, and for whatever reason, I know a part of me thinks it's genuine, but at the same time, there's something so off about it when he says, like, we did it! We did it! But it doesn't, look, I feel like I had more passion in my voice doing that right now than what he did. It looks so scripted. It's so weird. It's like seeing a scene out of a reality show, like Jersey Shore. It felt like he was playing to the camera, and it didn't, so if you're going to compare it to, so go on YouTube, if you don't know anything about basketball, just go check out Kevin Garnett, Anything is Possible. Just Google that or YouTube that and watch that clip. This is after the Celtics beat the Lakers in the championship in 2008, was that? 2008? And you can see Kevin Garnett, he can't even process what he's feeling. And he just yells that out. And deep down, inside of you watching that this man means what he's saying. But when I was watching Tatum say that, it felt like, oh, okay, I'm happy for you. And then there's more. There are other clips that surfaced too of him saying similar things. That like Steph Curry said something after winning a championship. I think in 2020 was what they gonna say now? What they gonna say now? I think he was saying it to his wife or no. Who did he say that to? I forgot. But Jason Tatum was saying it to his wife, and it felt like he had pre-planned this moment in his head, which I don't blame him because they were up 3-0 at one point in the series. So deep down, I know he knew he was gonna win, right? I'm happy for Al Horford. I'm happy for Jason Tatum too, right? I'm not a Jason Tatum hater by any means. I've never said, fuck, I hate that guy, right? The fuck I hate that guy label for me is easy, like Chris Paul. Fucking hate that guy. At one point, I fucking hated Draymond Green, but I've grown to respect him more, embracing he just does what he wants, so I kind of embrace that. I mean, I don't know who else I really hate besides fucking Chris Paul. Like, I fucking hate that guy, man. But I don't really have a hate for anyone. So, so congratulations, Tatum. I'm really happy for Al Horford because growing up, I would just watch him and his Atlanta Hawks get daddy dicked by LeBron James in the East every single year. They were the number 1 seed in one of those seasons, and they still got daddy dicked by LeBron, right? And I'm happy for Derek White, who looks like Billy Crawford, and that's all I call him now, Billy Crawford. Drew Holiday, he won a one with Milwaukee, but I'm happy for him. Jaylen Brown, oh, by the way, shout out to Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP. Well deserved, right? There's a clip again, going back to Tatum. There's a clip where supposedly when they give the Jaylen Brown the Finals MVP, you can see Tatum's reaction, and people were speculating, was he not happy for him? So that to me adds also to the whole, like, is he being authentic, right? Anyway, congratulations, Jaylen Brown. Who else is on that fucking Celtics team? Here's the thing too about the Celtics. But full transparency, I rarely watch NBA until it's the playoffs. I used to watch like regular season games when I was in high school and earlier in college, but I've kind of lost interest in regular season. I kind of just stick because there's so many. It's so insane to me that full highlight YouTube videos come out 30 minutes after the game, and they show every single bucket. So there's really no need to watch the full game unless there's stakes involved. So there's no really stakes involved in the first half of the season, or even towards the last half of the season, unless some people are fighting for a playoff spot. So if you can literally shorten your time by just watching Down to Buck and whoever else posts YouTube highlights on YouTube 30 minutes after the game ends, right? So anyway, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so I don't watch a lot of basketball during the regular season, so I don't know a lot of these players. But even after watching the Celtics for their run, I still forget who most of them are. But shout out, man. Shout out to the Celtics. Congratulations. I think that's enough, right? 38 minutes. That's the podcast. It is a video aspect, so I'm going to try to keep it short. If nothing corrupts on my memory card, this video should be out on YouTube very, very soon. And make sure to listen to Halal Show as well. Follow me on my social media, etc., etc. You know the drill. I love you guys, and I'll catch you all. Say it with me later.